everyone, welcome to UK Media Warrior. Fast and the Furious 8, Fate of the Furious, has been out for around 2 weeks now in the States. Finally got to see this movie last night, and I'm a fan of the Fast and Furious films, other than Tokyo Drift, which I think is everyone's probably least favourite of the lot. But out of all of them, 5 was really good. I think 5 was the turning point. But all the others other than Tokyo Drift I found enjoyable. And that's the thing about the Fast and Furious films. That's what they are. They are just fun, popcorn action movies. You don't have to give them too much thought. You can just sit back and enjoy the stunts. The problem seems to be that over the last 2 or 3, they've had to keep upping their game. They keep doing more and more outrageous and obviously ridiculous and unrealistic stunts to make people go, oh, wow, that's fantastic. And because they have to keep doing that, it's now got to the point that at certain points in the Fate of the Furious, I thought I'd slipped into an Austin Powers film. It was so ridiculous. And it doesn't even start off slow. The very start of this movie takes place in Havana, Cuba, where Dom and Letty are basically having a honeymoon, I believe. And he gets into a road race, street race, which is fine, which keeps the film connected to its origins. But this street race is so ridiculous and so totally out. I mean, he's got to the point that his engine is glowing red hot due to the strain he's putting it under. He gets hit by a motorbike but keeps going, and he still manages to outrace his opponent, who is in supposedly the fastest car in Cuba. The fact that the car would have blown up within seconds obviously is irrelevant. The fact that it's in flames at the end is irrelevant. The fact that he finishes the last couple of miles of the race in reverse gear, which anyone who knows even the smallest little bit about cars knows that engines in reverse don't go as fast as they do going forward. They're not designed to do that. So straight away, from the start of the film, they leave reality in the bin. It's gone. Forget about it. This isn't a film where physics, reality, anything has any meaning whatsoever. And for me, that makes it less. That makes it a lesser film. I like films that push the envelope. I like films where you're sitting there and you're watching the stunts and you're thinking, wow, this is just absolutely fantastic. Because there is, even if it's just a small iota of reality maintained throughout the entire movie. Even if the stunts, okay, perhaps they are CG'd a bit, maybe they are Hollywooded up a bit, but you can look at them and you think, yeah, okay, that could possibly have happened in the real world. But as I said, the problem with these films is they've done that to the level now, and I don't know whether it's Vin Diesel's decision, whether it's the studio's decision or what it is, but they keep trying to go one above the last film. And because of that, everything is now ridiculous, just totally unbelievable and ridiculous, and that makes it a lesser film for me. I might be in the minority here, I don't know. Is it still a fun film? Yeah, but it's fun in a different way now. It's not fun in that it's exciting and you're on the edge of your seat and the suspense is driving you. That's no longer really a big deal. It's funny that I found myself laughing at the film for a majority of it. And I'm not sure that's entirely what they were aiming for, but that's how it came across on screen, because it was just so bloody stupid. And so I found myself laughing. Even my wife, who was sitting next to me, she was laughing at a certain point. So it isn't just me. The only saving grace for this film really are some of the characters. The Rock, again, brings it as Hobbs. I mean, that guy just oozes charisma in any film he is in. Now, I will say that I think it's getting to the point now that The Rock is overdoing it. He's in nearly every bloody film out there at the moment. And he's getting to the point that he plays the same character in every movie he's in. So although he's a fantastic guy, he's obviously an incredible action star. And like I say, charisma just flows out of this guy. Everyone loves him. But there has to come a point where he's just in too much, and people just get, yeah, another Rock film. Like, I've seen too much. There has to be a gap. He has to stop for a while, let people miss him, and then come back. Jason Statham is back in this film, playing Deckard, the guy they put away. Was it one film ago? So this is another problem with these films. They start. When you try and go back and remember them, they start to mingle in your head because they're so similar. I can't remember which characters were in what films and anymore. It's just got to the point now that they're all one big manic mess in my head. But anyway, Statham's back, and I like Statham. He's a great cat. He's a great actor, a great action star. And when he's with the Rock, those two are just electric together on screen. So that's fantastic. I like seeing him back. Helen Mirren makes an uncredited appearance as Statham's mum in this movie, and she is fantastic. She steals every scene she is in. So once again, fantastic there. Charlize Theron plays Cypher, the villain or villainess in this movie, and she's basically playing the same character as she was when she played the Wicked Witch in Snow White and the Huntsman. That's how it comes across to me anyway. Just changed her setting, changed the clothes she's wearing, but the actual character she's portraying on screen is pretty much exactly the same evil, bad woman. So not much there. Although I do like watching Charlize Theron on screen, simply because that woman is gorgeous. I mean, she doesn't seem to age. So, I don't mind so much. What else? That's pretty much it. I mean, when it comes to good points, I mean, the other characters in it are exactly the same characters you've seen in the last 5 or 6 Fast and Furious movies. They haven't changed. They don't seem to have grown. They're exactly the same characters as they've always been. So they just sort of fade into the background. Kurt Russell is back as Mr. Nobody, the secret agent dude, and he too is fantastic in this film. He's not in it a great deal, isn't it? A little bit more, I think, than he has been previously in other movies, but it's just funny. And your eye is drawn to him on screen when he's on screen. And him and The Rock, again, their interaction is fantastic and brings a smile to the face. You just like watching them on screen. Kurt Russell, once again, brings it. So that's it. Those characters I mentioned are pretty much the high points in the movie when it comes to acting and charisma on screen that you want to watch. As I say, the rest of them, even Vin Diesel, I think the guy's got a problem. He brought The Rock into this franchise, and bringing The Rock in saved the Fast and Furious franchise. It did, and there's no debating that. But the problem is that when you got The Rock and Vin Diesel in the same film, everyone wants to see The Rock. Nobody really cares about Vin Diesel. But this is Vin Diesel's movie. This is supposed to be his franchise. This is his big thing. And he's pushing it forward for another 3 or 4, however many bloody films he's got left to do in this Fast and Furious franchise he wants to do. He keeps pushing it. But the problem is, he's just Vin Diesel. He just keeps playing Vin Diesel on screen. In Dom, again, hasn't really grown. This one is supposed to be, Dom's the bad guy. Why is he the bad guy? The mystery in all the trailers that got everyone talking was, why has he turned to the dark side? What's going on here? But the problem is, they pretty much tell you exactly why he's turned to the dark side in the first third of the movie. So it takes all the suspense out of it. He's going to work it out in the end, and he's going to find a way to get out from under Charlize Theron's boot, as it were. So it takes all the suspense out of it. If they'd have kept the secret, if they had not told you why he's turned on them for a long way into the movie, it would have made the movie even better. But they didn't. So because they've shown you that he's actually really is still a good guy, that he hasn't turned bad, that he's just being pressured into doing these things, you sort of lose all interest in that side of the story. the film literally jumps the shark in this film, although, to be honest, he jumps the submarine, but it's exactly the same thing. You know, jumping the shark basically means a movie series or a TV series or whatever has got to the point that it's just become totally ridiculous, and you really can't, you know, look at it seriously ever again. It could be argued the Fast and the Furious did that a movie or two ago, but this one has put the last nail in the coffin, as it were. At one point in the movie, Charlize Theron's hackers manages to hack into all the cars in New York who have auto drive features and send them like lemmings chasing after this one guy, this Russian defense minister in New York. And it's like, there's like hundreds of cars, automated driving cars, flooding down streets, surging around corners to try and get this minister, coming out of car parks. It's just so incredibly stupid on screen when you're watching it. You can't help but laughing. There probably aren't that many automatic drive vehicles in the entire world. There are loads of cars that do automatic parking now, but that's pretty much the limit of their computer's ability and the limit of that computer in that car's control on the car. But these cars are doing like 60, 70 miles an hour, flooding down streets, hundreds of them screaming around corners, you know, doing pursuit driving, and it's just ridiculous. And just to make it even worse, at the end of the film, they managed to hack into a Russian submarine and automatically control it, sending it chasing the good guys through the ice by remote control. Now, I don't know Russian submarines. I'm pretty damn sure, though, that you can't remote control one to the point that you can actually fire missiles from it, fire torpedoes from it, steer it, make it go up and down. I'm pretty sure you need a crew for that. You know, I'm pretty sure. It's a big thing. It's a big submarine. So, again, it's just a ridiculous film. And because it's so totally out there, I put this one as perhaps the third or fourth out of the whole Fast and Furious films that I like the least. If you totally turn your brain off and just sit there, then you're just going to love it. You're just going to munch on popcorn, drink your Coke, and just go, and okay, fine. If that's all you want out of a film, then that's what you're going to get. And this film has almost made $1 billion already worldwide in its first 2 weeks. So obviously tons and tons of people are going to see it. Critically, it's about 50-50 right now. And I think that's the problem. I think it's getting to the point with the critics that Transformers has. The critics are starting to not like the franchise so much, and the audience are still going to see it in droves. However, that might change because there are rumours that The Rock might go off and do a spin-off Hobbs film on his own. Now, if you take The Rock out of the Fast and Furious right now, what does that leave you? A lot of people would argue that The Rock is the only saving grace of this film right now. And if he's gone, are people still going to go and see it just because Vin Diesel's leading the team? I'm not entirely sure they will. So it's interesting. Jason Statham, as I said, came back in this film's decade. So the question is, are the studios looking to replace The Rock with Jason Statham? That might work. Statham's not quite as big a presence on screen as The Rock is, but he's very good. And I'll certainly say he's better than Vin Diesel. So if they take The Rock out, replace him with Jason Statham, that might save them. But then again, you might have The Rock and Statham going off together to do the spin-off film. In that case, you're right back to Vin Diesel and the usual crew, and I think Fast and Furious will nosedive into the ground. But anyway, that's my review. Not entirely happy with this film. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 on my scale. It was okay. It was totally brain-dead movie. I just wish they'd get back to something grounded in a little bit of reality, just to give you a little bit of suspense, a little bit of drama. But I honestly don't think they're going to do that. So anyway, that's it for my review. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or share this on your Facebook if you like. I'll see you next time for another review. Until then, you guys take care. Bye for now.